Dark.
Friends, welcome to Battletech Blades of Honor Season 1, Episode 7, 3045, possibly the last episode of 3045. Probably not, but possibly. It's a shortened episode here. And the big thing I have to announce is that there will be a new companion show to this show, which is already a companion show to Oath of Endosteel. Ticking Time Bob Gaming approached me and asked if I would run a game for him and the Pendragon boys one night a month. So it'll be Sunday, I believe October the 14th is our first episode 0. It will be called Battletech Gentlemen of the List and will take place in the Magistracy of Canopus in the year 3029-ish.
Are they all going to be cat girls?
No,
they're all going to be cat boys.
It's called Gentlemen of the List. So it won't be cat girls for sure. Will they be cat boys? I don't know. I haven't approached them about that part yet.
There probably will be a spin-off show from that show for cat girls.
Oh my god!
Yes.
We're gonna just run it in maid RPG for sure. Yeah.
Tactical waifu.
Oh god! You know I love.
Sure, you could find a way
waifus.
You can find a way to hack it into like Can Cole and just have mech girls instead of.
I was just rereading
ship
the
girls.
Can Cole RPG
Oh, really?
earlier tonight. While I was waiting for this game to get started, I just picked the rule book up off my shelf, and I was just like, man, it's been a long time since I ran this. Could I go back and do a lunch? No, never.
Nah. There were some interesting things about Can Cole.
Yeah, they ported it over to another game about ninjas called Shinobigami, which I'm pretty interested in, but you'll notice I haven't run it, and it's been out for about 6 years, so...
Interested but not interested. Yeah, Ticking Time Bob reached out to me to maybe do an overlay, and I told him I was interested, and then he never responded to me. So
he, to
be fair, I took a while to get back to him.
His
too,
communications are few and far between. Let's put it that way.
He may have decided to go in another direction, which is totally fine.
I doubt that. I've solidly waited like 48 hours for communication from him. That's just how he, he's not perpetually online like me.
I get that. No, yeah, I respect it.
Hey, in the last episode, you guys got some dates, maybe got some marriage proposals, and you showed up for the festival. Like in Endosteel, we're going to do some dancing, we're going to do some politicking, we're going to do some schmoozing, and then there's the big lighting of the lanterns to send out into the sea. After which, there is a yearly meeting, of which this will be your first attendance with the Baron. Some things that are on the menu tonight. Hiro has RSVP'd to joining Red Hime's officer discussion, the contents of which are unknown. My man Arnsson is here with a emotional mess. And how do I put this? Alouette Kyeda is just kind of a really bland guy. Hanging out with Akari Genji is just...
Is he bland? I would have thought that
he's like
pompous social gatherings would be like his environment. Like he would be thriving here.
He is. But I want to make it very clear that he is the type of person that's all flash, no substance. Like his sword fighting skills, good, but not the best. Conversation skills, good enough to get by. Like there's nothing particularly special about Alouette Kyeda besides his hairstyle. I feel like that's probably where we start the scene, is just like a nice little Bridgerton style dance scene. The lights are overly bright. The colors are saturated oddly to match the director's creative vision. We see Alouette is like blah 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 raspberry blah 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 blah, and some people nearby are like, Alouette, you are such a laugh.
He sounds like a sim.
He speaks Simlish. Oh yeah, I'm trying to listen. There's nothing offensive about Alouette. He's just not,
He's not exciting.
He's the second cousin once or twice removed. What do we say? Second cousin once removed in his 30s, only now getting to marriage. Like,
Right.
he's just he's been on the back shelf for a while,
He's living but to him, from his perspective, he's living his best life.
Yeah, he's Star Fox with the SNES, not Star Fox 64.
He lives a life of recreation and indulgence, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to make sure that's all implied. And then, of course, we've got over in another corner, a gentleman has approached the Arnsson Genji team up and is just like, the Red Crown Casino. I saw the sign while I was passing by the other day. Might I congratulate you, my lord, for your requirements? Do you have a in-house chef? My brother-in-law is looking to pick up some side work.
I think Arnsson kind of tries to collect himself. This is. I'm sorry, I don't believe I've caught your name.
You're new here, right? Of course. My name is Mr. Takamoto. I'm kind of a big deal.
Oh, of course, of course.
Leather-bound books.
Yeah. And you're saying your brother-in-law can help us out with the...
Oh, yeah, he is. He spent years going to chef college.
What a declaration of skill.
Did he learn anything at chef college?
So just to be clear,
This guy's my new favorite guy. Oh my god.
AP, I hope you know you just introduced us to our Boblin the Goblin of the campaign.
I'm abandoning House Genji, and I just want to play this guy's family from now on.
just to be really clear, Takamoto laughs like you said something very funny, and then he does enter like a idle nodding loop to move the conversation forward, so he doesn't have to answer any more awkward questions from you. I can't believe that's what's got us all dying. My whole face is going red.
I'll tell you what. I'll arrange for a kitchen to be prepared, and your what was it? Your brother, your cousin?
My brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law. Okay. Your brother-in-law can prepare a test meal, and if I approve of it, we can see about getting him a job.
So he adjusts his collar real quick and he says, I would never question a samurai's palate, but my understanding is that you've spent a long time on the campaign trail with a somewhat liberal, roguish director of military defense. Perhaps someone with a little bit more refinement should be accepting these.
Before you continue, do you doubt that I can taste food? Okay. This conversation is done. Please just give me your brother-in-law's contact information, and I'll have the arrangements made.
He hands you a cell phone with the speed dial 1 is his phone. Contact him. But because the Battletech is the future of the 80s, it's a brick.
He hands me his cell phone, or he hands me
he
spare
hands you
cell phone?
Actually, he gestures for a servant to bring him a phone to give you his speed dial to call him.
Okay.
This is supposed to be a power move, but it has to be transported in a messenger bag satchel. And he hands you like an early 90s. You know what I'm talking about? Like shaped like a loaf of bread?
Yeah. I'll thank him in turn around and walk away from this conversation.
Absolutely. You see him walk up to somebody and say, "Fancy a game of cards?"
What was his name? Takamoto?
Mr. Takamoto. Yeah.
Mr. Takamoto.
Was he like the Chef Boyardee of the Draconis Combine?
I feel like this guy would be played by, what's his name? Pierre Chang, the guy who played the Dharma lead scientist in Lost.
All Lost. I was thinking it was going to be like Mr. Chang from The Hangover.
Oh my God.
No, he's great though. And when he walks away, is it like in weirdly in like fast motion because someone's like someone in The Sims is advancing time?
No. He walks away super slow motion, like he's an NPC on idle mode. You know how in Skyrim or any of those games, all the NPCs move, their foot speed is slower than yours?
Yeah.
He's trying to find a path to the door.
Right. Yeah. he's assassin creeding through the crowd.
Sorry, I got it wrong. Pierre Chang is the name of his character on Lost. His name is Francois Chow. He played the bad guy in the first season or two of The Expanse. The metal guy.
Yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. How good was The Expanse, though?
So good.
I thought it was pretty good. There were some stumbling points. I really hate Naomi. They kind of really twisted her to be whatever they wanted, but the hard sci-fi is always pretty good. Although it's difficult to call it hard sci-fi when they use magical teleportation half the time.
Well, the Telltale game of Expanse is out now.
Ooh.
Wow.
Well, you know, I want to just open the floor to whoever wants to go next. I need a palate cleanser after Takamoto.
Like at some point, I don't mind when it happens tonight, but I would like to have a factual conversation with Henya.
Yeah, Henya definitely has like taken you away from the dance area and more to like the festival that surrounds the area, and is engaging in really idle chatter, introducing you to all of the various concepts that you might not be familiar with, all the religious and spiritual significance of the area. At some point, you make it clear that you want to have a real conversation, and she leads you into a park which should be full of people, but has basically been sectioned off for like people from the party to come in here, which are enforced by guardsmen with riot shotguns.
Okay, no worries. Thank you for taking the time to show me around there as well. I appreciate that. Do you mind if I speak plainly? That tends to be the only way I tend to speak.
Please,
I make sure.
Prefer it.
Yeah. First off, thank you for coming out tonight. My friend arranged this, Akari Genji. I don't know if you know her.
Yes.
She told me, and this is not really something that I am that familiar with, but she told me that the attempt to match us may have been a slight towards me or my family, not because of you specifically, but because of the ways that politics work. And I get the impression that it's also potentially something of a slight on you as well.
I'd kind of hoped that you wouldn't figure any of that out. Yes.
Oh, I mean, please understand that I'm not offended because these are things that don't bother me, but I'm worried that you may be offended, and so I simply wanted to say that I am happy for however this. I'm happy for this to play out however you would like it to play out, for you to get some satisfaction against anybody that may have put you in a position you don't want to be in.
I think I want to assume that you've been Aaron Sorkin walking, talking, and I think she stops and turns to look at you and says, "Are you saying you'd go as far as marrying me to ensure that I get some small measure of revenge out of this? Any length?"
What I'm saying is that for me, there's a transactional nature to what we're trying to do, and so what our families want us to do. And provided that transactional nature is met, I'm happy to deliver whatever outcome it is that would give you the chance to. I just hate the fact that people are trying to manipulate me and manipulate you. Not the fact I don't mind being manipulated. I hate people feeling that they can, and so I would rather make people feel that they will not get what they want out of those sort of actions. And you know that better than I do, I believe.
I think she gives you a small smile and nods and says, I fear that it is the burden of nobility to be manipulated and to manipulate. With that said, yes, my grandfather is trying to offer you a direct offense. I'm not sure the exact reason, but I think there is a strong opportunity to force you in a position where you will have to duel someone of his choice.
And I'm not afraid of a duel, provided it serves some purpose other than someone's machinations.
She turns and starts walking again and says, I believe that the point of the duel would be to kill you. I do not understand it. It has never been explained to me. Obviously, and she swallows hard and says, I'm not well thought of in my family. I don't know everything that happens, but I have never heard your name until a few months ago. And now you are the focus of his desire.
Do you know that my family died? That's why I returned here to Valentina?
That was some time ago. I don't know a lot about it. I do know that it happened. There was always a lot of talk about the estates outside the city.
Only that it's a matter I'm still investigating. So it's quite possible that if something untoward happened, that I will ruffle feathers over time. And I want to be honest about the fact that that means that anybody that I draw close potentially faces that danger from the people that may have been involved in the slaying of my parents.
I appreciate your candor in that. She looks the level of concern someone would if you just told them that, you know, being near you might lead them to their deaths.
Look, of course, I offer any protection, but I don't get the impression you're the sort of person that wants to be protected, so to speak.
No, I absolutely want to be protected. Should I be moving things into your mansion somewhere? Is there a spare seat in your mech?
I think that if I don't know that my enemies are necessarily moving that fast. Look, I've known you for a few hours so far. You seem like an intelligent and very forthright woman, and I simply want to make sure that you're comfortable and that you get something out of this. Whatever way we go, you're getting something out of this, and that you will be protected and safe.
She stops again, and you know, it's the overlay. I basically have to do it. There's like a light breeze and a bunch of fucking flower petals go flying past both of you. Way more than a light breeze should cause.
Yeah. I cut a piece of falling banana.
Oh, of course. For those 10 years in the future who don't understand Generation Alpha, that's a Fruit Ninja reference. It was very popular among your elders.
For those of you 20 years in the future, fruit was a type of food that used to exist back when we were able to successfully have agriculture on this planet.
Jesus, I thought I was the doomer here. Holy shit.
In fact, it grew in such abundance that we literally made games about chopping it in half recreationally.
I think we're gonna go down the interstellar path though, where all agriculture becomes corn.
Yeah.
It's certainly
Bananas
the
are going to be
American
long
path.
gone. Yeah.
Oh my god! Wow, we really walked away from the drama of this moment. So let's take a moment to reset ourselves. Huge, giant tree, blurry in the background. In the foreground focus, we have the two of you and a gentle wave of sakura petals going between you. And now I'm struggling to remember what she was about to say, because all I can think about is how bad Interstellar was. We just lost 6 years on that little maneuver. Sorry, that wasn't the bad part. That wasn't the bad part. She says, "What are you getting out of this? You keep talking about what I am going to get out of this. All I can offer you is my name."
I mean, I never expected to live this life. When I left home, I expected to serve in the military for life, basically. And I've come back here now, and there are a few responsibilities that I have, some of which I can do, like defending my lands, like defending my family, like serving my lord. But some things that I'm less versed in, i.e., raising a household and propagating my line.
She raises an eyebrow when you say propagating your line.
Let's get to propagating.
I think she turns away then and resumes walking and says, "I'll think about it."
Anyway, we should still enjoy this evening.
Of course.
No matter what happens. Let them see that they haven't broken either of us yet.
I think that the next scene, I want to do like a Star Wars wipe. You know, and it's a Star Wars wipe that like you go from the scene to a transitioning shot like outside the building, and you see a bunch of unimportant people doing weird space stuff, and then there's like one person in the background who George Lucas is going to write like a 4-page article about, even though they won't appear anywhere else, before it transitions to inside the building. And your favorite detective, Hirohito, shows up, Hirohito Goro. He's waited for you to pull away from Alouette, and I feel like he approaches you side by side at the punch table, and he's just like, "So, that's the kind of guy you're into, huh?"
Are you interested in the kind of guys that I'm interested in?
Anything you're
Detective?
interested in, I'm interested in.
That is
Imp.
truly charming.
He turns, slightly shorter than you, but 100% American pit bull, and he goes, "Don't get me wrong. You know, police detective sergeants don't get assigned to shadow samurai. It doesn't happen. If it was anyone else on this planet, I would be flogged for impertinence before being stripped of my rank. Probably I would be killed, and then several of my family members would be killed, so that it would send a good message to my neighbors to know to make better choices in friends. But not you. You ever wonder why you're being followed by a detective sergeant?"
I can't say it's crossed my mind. I'm a very busy woman.
Yeah, that's the thing that concerns the planetary government. That's the thing that concerns them. Because when you pull your little shenanigans, you and your little cousin and your crime spree shit, you're not just breaking the law, which, frankly, we can overlook. You're breaking tradition. You're making samurai look bad. And that can't stand. So you do your little wild Yakuza game. Oh, fucking in your face now. He's up on his tippy toes too, so he can
He
look
gets
at
in
you
my
eye to
face
eye.
in
Yeah.
public.
Yes,
This could be
absolutely.
it for this dude. This might be the last decision
I
he
want to
ever
be
made.
clear too. Like the two of you are attracting attention.
Yeah, when he, I wanted so badly when he was like, "Normally I'd be killed." I was gonna be like, "Well, the night's still young."
You look at me eye to eye. You hide the eyes, you hide the lies.
I'm just eating like carrots with ranch dip, looking like amused and bored at the same time.
You step foot out of line, and I'm going to come thundering down on you. You do your little Yakuza shenanigans. Live out whatever dream your mom has poisonously whispered in your ear. You represent something greater. I represent the law.
I lean in close and I smile and I say, "If you ever speak of my mother again, the only thing you'll represent is a shallow, unmarked grave." And I smile and I walk away.
All right. You should know that we flash forward. It is 12 hours later. It's in black and white. It's him looking at the sunrise over the bay. He's got like half a glass of scotch left. He's got half of a cigar. He looks awful. He's taken off his jacket. He's rolled up his sleeves. He's doing this. He's just like, ugh. And then he stands up and he takes a line of yarn and 2 pins, and he pins you and he pins your mom, and he pins like a question mark card. And
He's
now,
linked me to my own mother.
No,
What,
but
what an investigative genius.
Right. But the thing is, you haven't reacted to anything. So yeah. So you know what? He does it in character. In the scene, he says, "She's never reacted to anything before, but that's how I get her."
Can I add something to this scene stylistically?
Please do.
I think instead of black and white, it should be like solid black and solid white, like Sin City.
Like Sin
Yes,
City.
yes.
And the piece of yarn is red, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's
the
really
question mark. The question mark is solidly red.
Yeah, people don't like it when you talk shit about their parents. He's really cracked the case.
We snap back to reality, which is just him standing alone at the punch bowl as you walk away. I feel like somewhere out there, a paparazzi is just like.
The headlines will be "Detective spurned by most eligible bachelorette."
Oh, shit.
I'm going to make sure that the headlines say that.
Okay.
Do we know if this guy is single, or does he have a family or anything like waiting for him?
You have to assume, given how closely he's been following another noble family, he has to have somebody backing him. He might not necessarily be nobler of the blood, but he has to have someone backing him, because it would otherwise.
It would be suicide.
Akari could literally just murder him. Otherwise, she could literally just be like,
Right.
"Oh, this
Publicly.
is a peasant murder."
Right.
Yeah. I think tragedy needs to be like Brad Pitt in Seven, like, young wife, 2 dogs, thinking about kids,
Yeah. Last thing I want on my hands is a John Wick situation, James. No, thank you. No dogs. This man has no dog.
He 100% has a pit bull. The pit bull's name is Scott Kahn.
Oh boy. Well, he had a pit bull.
It's a rescue. It only has 2 bulls.
Whoa!
He had a pit bull and he had a house.
Rad fully went Yakuza in this moment.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm heavily considering it, but we'll wait and see. I
The
want to find
Renegade
out
and
more.
Paragon options came up, and he kept hitting the Renegade out. Like, it only lets you do it once, but
Yeah. He talked about like the government. Is his intent to make me believe that the government has got him on my tail, like that has assigned him to me? That's what he said, though.
listen,
right?
the thing about police officers is they don't have to tell you the truth.
No, they absolutely do not. But I'm just clarifying. That's what he said, right?
Yes,
He's like,
he
"Why do you
did.
think the planetary government's got me trailing
Yes.
you?"
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, he is a civil service officer. He is
Sure.
he is a government official, right? So
Yeah, right.
now there's always the possibility that he became a detective sergeant and decided to set up a special unit to follow you around, and he has no backing and is basically suicidal.
He's
Always
absolutely just like going on
So-
a hunch, right?
so
Taking his whole career on it.
The way to tell whether this is official or not is wait till he goes to the bar to buy a drink and see if he gets a receipt.
Yeah.
It's an open
It's
bar.
true.
It's an open bar at the party.
I'm sure I have. I'm sure. Well, not I have, but I'm sure the Yakuza has cops that are on the take, right?
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
All right. I'm gonna have. I might call on that to maybe have some people look into this guy.
All right. So there is. My God, I don't remember what it's called now. So the numbers, the basic numbers of the Japanese alphabet are also attached to syllables of their alphabet. So you can technically form words out of numbers. And people will commonly do this. They'll I really can't think of any example. I didn't want to have to reveal this until now, but now that you're basically asking about it. So his unit is called 893, which is also the Japanese phonetic code for Yakuza, essentially. His unit, it's like an anti-corruption unit. So, and there's no one else in it. So your people can definitely tell you something about him, but they are not a part of it and won't be able to tell you very much, right? Like, they can't just walk in and be like, let me look through your case files.
Right.
Yeah, he's real edgy. He formed a unit specifically to go after me.
Can my guys find out if there's anyone else in the unit?
I mean, every time you've seen him, he's been alone. And even when you went to... I mean, the answer is no. I feel like that... Almost certainly that's a question you've asked before now. You know what I mean? If you want to know more...
The Yakuza killed him.
I mean, I want people going through this man's trash. I want the housekeeper to be on my payroll. Like I want to inundate this man's life with a funnel that leads all information to me.
Let's make a roll.
Okay.
I'd like a bureaucracy roll.
Can I interest you in?
I'll also take culture criminal.
Culture criminal.
Yeah, I'll take culture criminal with
Okay.
charisma.
With charisma or intelligence?
With charisma.
Okay, I'll take. That's fine. This is just at a +1.
Okay.
Use these red dice right here.
Okay. Hey, that's a 10. Well, he doesn't have a housekeeper, so you can't.
That's fine. That's fine.
I just feel like you have a person who delivers his mail and groceries on the payroll. And I want to flash forward it. It's 12 hours in the future. Dawn is rising in the east. You're getting a manila folder filled with everything that the Yakuza are able to get about him in short notice.
It's black and white pictures of him with a red piece of yarn.
He is single. He is 29. His uncle is a noble and also a member of like the police commissioners, like a former police officer of high rank, who then became part of like the public accountability board, essentially. And he pressed to get his nephew this job. He was a beat cop for a while, and he has surprisingly clean record. And then one day, like, no one really knows what happened, but one day he went from being like just a normal average beat cop to like being much, much better. Like his skill set, all of his like performance reviews, something happened to him or really motivated him about 3 years ago.
As a criminal, am I able to identify anything that's like shady about it, or does it look like he just like got a fire lit under him?
I think the shady thing that you know about him is that he has a gambling addiction that is becoming somewhat well known among your cohort.
Thus, I destroy his noble line.
He likes betting on dog racing.
If only you knew someone who owned a casino.
If only I knew someone who owned a casino
That casino isn't done and won't be for a while.
that I had arranged for all of the employees that work there. Okay. All right. All good information for the future.
We step back to the present when someone shoulder checks you at the party and does not apologize and keeps going.
Who are they?
Well, from behind, you see...
I don't let them get like it. This is immediate, right? Like as soon as someone shoulder checks me,
Yeah.
I'm identifying them. They won't.
Yeah.
I will not physically allow them to walk away, depending on whether or not I'm able to identify them.
Shoulder check, slow motion, eyes coming around, Sherlock style. Beep, 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 beep. You see, there is definitely a single sword on his back in like a weird scabbard sheath. It almost looks like the end of the blade is larger than the, like the tip of the blade is larger than the rest of the blade, weirdly. And it doesn't seem that long. Like it's small enough to fit on his back without like going beyond the width of his shoulders. Very short sword. He is wearing a kimono, but it kind of looks like, I wouldn't say he didn't have it clean, but it definitely isn't like super fancy or like recently starched. Got like a little scruff of hair here and like a little soul patch. Slightly overweight, but definitely like strong and beefy otherwise. And your immediate read on this guy is, I think you also see a little hint of like a tattoo on his neck that's like leading down into the kimono. And it is Yakuza code for like a Yakuza who's been killed. And you think that this guy might be a Ronin, like a houseless samurai or a sword hunter of some kind.
Do I believe he is of higher social status than I?
He only has a single sword. You have two.
So he's definitely not.
Yes.
So I could legally kill him.
I don't think you could legally kill him, but you could challenge him to a duel and kill him that way.
Okay. I was going to 100% spin around and chop this man's head off when his back was turned to me and he was walking away.
I think that I want to imagine that that scene plays out in your mind. And when that scene ends, you turn and you see his face coming around and he's grinning and he knows that he just pissed you off. And you're starting to get the feeling that this might have been intentional, provocative.
Of course it was. I'm going to let it go and I'm going to have somebody tail this guy.
All right, you let it go. He walks a few more paces before turning sideways, giving you the, side frame look and just outrightly grinning towards you.
When he's turned back to look at me, I already have my back turned towards him. I'm not paying any attention to him. I'm not going to give him any satisfaction.
Okay.
The moment I've clocked the situation, I'm ignoring it. And I'm making eyes at, like one of the bus boys who obviously works for me to like keep an eye on this dude.
Listen, this is a high-class party. The Yakuza do not bust this party.
I have my own people. He's not a Yakuza person. He can just be somebody from my house,
a noble in your house. Sure.
One of my servants, not even a noble, right? But I have a noble house. I have a lot of people that work for me. They're not all criminals, right?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean,
I have my own network.
The government certainly considers your house negligently criminal, but
that's right. But they're not all. I wouldn't think that my mother would allow that for me to, employ only Yakuza people in my house. I'm sure that I have a number of legitimate employees. that I put strategic that I
you try to have
utilize
someone
them
tail
like a
this
criminal would. Yeah.
He tries the same thing 2 minutes later with somebody, and it's clear from the uproar that it worked.
Mm.
You can hear an arrangement being made for a mech duel at dawn tomorrow morning. Flash forward 12 hours. We'll skip that one.
Fast forward 12 hours. The same bus boy is planning an explosive on the bottom of the Ronin samurai mech.
Listen, you told me he's a legitimate employee of your house.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's true.
If he's trained in busboy, he's probably not also trained in covert insertion and plastic explosive deployment.
We could do a Three Musketeers situation where it's like this guy has a duel at noon, and then he has a duel at 12:30, and then he has a duel at 1 p.m.
Yeah. He's got two skills, like waitering at +1 and anti-mech at +4.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't know it, but he always keeps an SRM-2 launcher on him at all times. Where does he hide it?
He also rides a motorcycle.
Yeah.
This is a festival, right?
God.
Yeah, he rides a motorcycle.
Oh my god.
Are we out? Is this outdoors? It's a festival, or right?
So,
it's not like a ball.
Yeah, so the festival takes place in and outdoors, right? There's the main ballroom area in a sort of open pagoda-like structure with very Buddhist themes to it. And then the doors are all open to let you go out into the regular festival. And then, of course, there's the area out back that leads to a public park. I feel like this is a actual temple structure for like the Order of the Five Pillars, who are the preservers of tradition. They're like the secret police, but they're only concerned with civic order rather than political. There are whole branches of government for political persecution. The Order of the Five Pillars is literally just like, hey, we've got a nice culture. Don't fuck it up. So this is probably like a O5P facility.
Is it open to the public?
It is regularly, but not for tonight.
Not for this.
It's specifically, it's like if a politician was doing a campaign event at a national park and like reserved, a banquet hall.
So how does this homeboy just show up at this party and start looking to pick a fight?
He technically has enough nobility to walk around with a sword.
Okay. Even though he's a Yakuza Ronin. So
I want to be clear. That tattoo means that he killed a Yakuza, not that he is Yakuza.
Okay.
In the same way that you get prison tattoos to indicate the people that you've killed or the crimes you've committed. He has a tattoo that says that he killed a Yakuza. And he wears it in a way that makes it obvious to people who know what it means that he has done that. I apologize. I didn't make that clear enough.
No, I got it.
And this doesn't mean that like some Yakuza tried to jump him and he shot him in the alleyway. Like this was
in a duel or something like that. Yeah. Okay. No, as a player, I'm a little sad I might have missed out on a duel opportunity.
You absolutely missed out on a duel opportunity.
Both as a character, as a character, I don't think Akari would take bait like that so quickly. She's a little more cerebral than that, I think.
All right, chat, you heard it here. You can no longer call me a masturbator.
Well, you could.
Myself. Wow. Oh, what a follow-up.
No, I think when it comes to duels and stuff, I think Akari is very calculating, and I think she only engages in them on her terms, never on anyone else's.
You mean exactly like what this guy's doing right now?
Yeah. He's going and picking his fights, and that's not how she does business. She does it the other way around. She picks the fights, and she makes it to where she's the only one that can win the fight.
Wow, that's so Miyamoto Musashi of you. That's why she
has such a successful record, and why she's a renowned duelist is because she plays to win.
Right. Yeah. You show up to the duel late so that the sun is rising in their eyes.
Exactly. I stab them in the ribs and then have their armor strapped on to conceal it.
Is that a Gladiator reference? Wow.
Yeah.
What a long shot. All right. Is there any other events you all want to do at the party tonight?
Just my talk thing. I suppose the officers.
Yes. That we definitely don't have time for that.
Okay.
We'll have to do that at the top of the next episode.
At this point, how long have Siegfried and Matsuri been dating?
I mean, do you include the time where you were promised to each other, or just since you've been on planet?
Just since I've been on planet.
A week at best, I think. How long? Well, no, it's actually been a couple months since the last. It's been 3 to 6 months since the last set of scenes, and the two of you came to a tentative agreement. So, I'd say a quarter of the year at best.
Okay.
Why, you want to pull out the 3-month anniversary gift, a well-known tradition in this region of space?
No, I was thinking about trying to have a conversation with her about what the future might look like for us.
Marriage.
We definitely don't have time for that.
Marriage.
Yes, let's do some wrap-up and closing thoughts.
I lead the thriller dance in the middle of the festival for everyone.
I 100% want a rule on this one. For sure.
Me and Al.
I will take persuade or leadership with charisma.
Oh, my dice are on freaking fire. I have +1 on leadership.
What? No.
Yes.
What is going on
12.
tonight? Okay.
I've been rolling so well in this game. I still haven't even had the opportunity to use my expert ability and get a free reroll like every hour. I haven't even needed it yet.
Well, you should know that Makeru Jackson is very popular in Japan, even now. So this is, in fact, thriller. And they even have somebody come up and do the Vincent Price ad lib in the middle of it, stopping and letting like. So it's like a young kid. He looks like he's only 12 years old, like a preteen, but when he speaks, it's like super low and bassy and spooky.
Yeah.
The party starts to shiver.
He's one of those pretty kids from what is the a cappella group, Pentatonics or something like that?
Pentatonics, yeah.
yeah.
Wow, what a great scene to go out on.
Yep.
And speaking of weird thriller dances, in case you haven't seen the Final Fantasy Spirits Within movie,
is that the animated one they did long time ago?
It's good and bad.
With Alec Baldwin.
Yeah,
I don't remember anything about it, but I do remember seeing it.
there is a deleted scene that's available in the DVD of the entire cast, including all of the monsters, doing the thriller dance.
Yeah, I remember that, yes.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like I said, Michael Jackson, Maikeru Jackson, is very popular in Japan.
Yeah. Who voiced the female lead next? I know Donald Sutherland did Sid. Dr. Sid.
I don't know, man. That was a long time ago.
It's within.
It was an odd one.
Alex Baldwin, Steve Buscemi, and
Marriage. What was the other thing we were looking for?
Ming-Na Wen.
Mulan.
Yep.
I'm a huge Mulan simp. That was my favorite part of The Mandalorian, is like, she's in her 70s and still doing her own stunts, which include sliding off a 20-foot building wall. And I'm like, this woman has great grandchildren. Can you guys give her a fucking break? I know she's Mulan, but she doesn't have to do everything, guys. Oh. Closing thoughts on this episode? I can't remember what the other thing we were doing here was. Marriage? Oh, the officer's chat. There we go. Officer's chat. That was actually the thing that was highlighted in my notes as the most important thing we definitely get to this time.
Everything else was just bullshitting.
Hey, I feel like we learned a lot about your enemies today.
I think so too. I definitely have to ponder on this and decide how my character would move forward with these threats, these encroaching problems.
Oh, encroaching is a great word for this.
I got to say, Arthur, that I was running a game the other day for my wife, and she plays the combat character in the group, and there's been like 3 sessions with no combat. I'm like, it's all right, honey. I've managed to put us in combat tonight. It's going to get through 9 scenes. We'll get to the combat. You know, we played for 3 hours, and we didn't finish scene 1.
Jeez.
Oh yeah, let's see, rogue trader problems. Yeah.
Yeah, I am sad I missed out on a duel, but I also don't think I pilot a very good mech for dueling. So maybe it's
He was going to challenge you to a sword fight.
Oh, see, I'm also.
But it's technically you get to choose the method of dueling, and he chooses the place.
I mean, for being a famous duelist, I did not or arrange my stats to be very good at dueling. So
you aren't very good at sword fighting?
Yeah, that's what we talked about, right? Is like she wins a lot of duels, but they may or may not be legitimate wins,
It's
right?
a good thing you didn't fight this guy at sword fighting.
She does like shady shit to win, and no one's ever caught on, which is why she has a very positive duelist reputation.
With the way the system works, there's a fairly good chance that he would kill you in one move.
Yeah.
Of course, there's also a very good chance you would kill him in one move as well.
Sure. Well, if he's built to duel, right? Like I ended up the only person here that's not a soldier. So it's like, I'm not sure engaging in duels is in my best interest.
So it's like Aijutsu, is it one stroke and someone dies?
Yeah, it starts without numbers as the first level. You what do you guys have, like 6 hit points? Yeah, I mean
6 hit points.
A human gun will deal up to 8 hit points.
Oh boy.
So, like a pistol shot will kill you instantly. You know what I mean? Like a sword slash also will kill you instantly.
Yeah.
About half the time if it hits.
That's why I like the unknown army system, where you have health between 1 and 100, and guns do D100 damage.
I don't have the soldier ability to force someone else to re-roll if they hit me. So like pretty risky proposition for me to duel somebody.
I think the soldier ability is to just ignore the damage, right? Isn't that the soldier
is it?
ability? Yeah, it's literally just ignore one set of damage on one attack. I don't think you have to re-roll. Well, we got to get James out of here so he can watch Saw.
Look, I got plenty of time.
He's only got like 2 hours before he has to do something.
And the cinema is a 6-minute drive away.
Okay.
Oh, wow, nice.
I could go 20
I hope you paid
minutes.
for you sit in the premium seats.
So
nice sound.
So my local cinema it's got gold class. They call it gold class, which is like the recliners where they bring you food and drink during the movie and everything.
Alamo Draft House.
Then it's got what they call Titan Lux, which is the same reclining seats just without the service, and they have regular cinema seats basically. And the movie I'm watching is in the Titan Lux, so it is the nicer seats. But I'll have to go in there and get just an ice cream before I go in, and I'll be getting food delivered.
That's definitely my preference. I'm not big on the food delivery in the movie, but I am a spoiled little bitch, and I do pay for the extra seats. I always hate with gold class because they ask you like, where do you want the food delivered? And I'll be like, maybe in the second half of the film, and then it gets me through the opening credits, or they're still playing the ads. Right. Yeah, bring it to me at the beginning of the third act. Yeah.
I'm going to go to bat for you out here, movie places that bring you food, because the last movie I saw in theaters was Shang-Chi, and I saw it in a theater that had the nice seats, extra wide, and they bring you the food and such, and it was pretty good. Shang-Chi, I liked it a lot.
Shang-Chi was the first Marvel film I didn't see in a cinema.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it was about the same time as COVID, though, so,
Yeah, that's right.
I definitely think it's one of the best Marvel movies that's come out post Endgame.
Wow, what a way to thread that needle. Yeah. I think it's one of the best Marvel fighting movies for sure.
100%.
The fight choreography is
pre or post Endgame.
Yeah.
The fight choreography in that movie is transcendent, I feel like.
But I didn't like some of the themes in the movie, and the dude having a weirdly erotic scene with his aunt.
Because a lot of Shang-Chi was filmed here, and my kid's martial arts instructor, they went to his class and asked for like extras for the fight scene.
Oh, cool.
In the village at the end, but no one did it. No one in his class decided to go do it.
Huge mistake. What a blunder. Yeah. I'd send my kid to a different martial arts school after that. Yeah, my last two movie going experiences were awful. We went and we did not pay for the nice theater with the nice seats where you reserve your seats. We just slummed it with all the regos, and it was terrible. Both time, one of them was Spider-Man, the Into the Spider-Verse or whatever, which was absolutely tragic because it was a fantastic movie and a terrible watch experience. It's like one speaker was blown out. The audio levels were all messed up to where like the ambient and background sounds were really loud and the dialogue was really low. So I probably only caught like 65% of the actual dialogue in the movie. There were people like coughing and like being loud, and the audio was like the real problem, and it was just absolutely terrible. And then the next, I don't remember what the other one we went to, something my kids want, Elementals maybe, I don't know, I don't remember what it was, but I had a lady behind me. Like I feel like she took 2 handfuls of popcorn and shoved them up her nose and then sneezed it all over me. Like, cause I'm just sitting there and this lady sneezes. It's like a fucking shotgun blast of popcorn, boogers. I don't know. I have brain matter, but just like a tremendous amount of wet shrapnel hits me on the back of my head and on my shoulders and on my neck. And I just freeze because just freezing and being completely still and silent like a statue is the only way I can avoid like abject violence in that moment. So I'm just locked up, and like 30 seconds later, my wife looks at me and she's like, "Oh my God, are you okay? What just happened?" Like she could see the murder in my eyes, and she was like, "Do we need to leave?" And it was in the opening credits. It's the first thing to happen in this fucking movie is I just get blasted by this lady behind me. And that's all I can remember. That's why I can't even remember what movie it was, because that was the sole experience that happened to me that day. I don't remember if it was a day I went to work. I have no idea if it was 10 years ago or yesterday.
Are you bisoning me right now? For me, it was the day I've been sneezed on with popcorn.
It defined my adult life. It's like in Star Wars, the Battle of Yavin. There's before the Battle of Yavin and after the Battle of Yavin. It's the birth of Christ. This is my moment. So my timeline is forever defined by this fucking woman.
Barbie and Oppenheimer came out the same day, and they had the whole Barbenheimer thing where it's challenge to go see both on the same day. So this weekend it's Saw 10 and Paw Patrol. So it's become the Saw Patrol challenge.
Well, I hope you have a double feature planned in 2 hours then, because that's the only way to do it.
But the Creator also came out. I want to go see the Creator at some point, but I'll probably take my wife to see the Creator. That looks pretty good.
I feel like its message is a little ham-fisted during the trailer, but I guess we'll see. I want to say, Rad, that my favorite theater experience is actually Star Wars. What's the first sequel trilogy? Is it the Force Awakens?
Phantom Menace. Oh, the sequel trilogy was sequel. Force Awakens.
Yeah, Force Awakens. Yeah.
I was watching it. You know, I don't like being near people, and especially children. And I was seated next to a somewhat rambunctious child, but I feel like they were actually kind of squirmy before the movie got started. And then I feel it's been a while. I feel like they were kind of good throughout most of it, but this is really going to paint me in a bad light. I've told this story before though. So it's the scene where Han Solo and Kylo Ren confront each other on the bridge. And Kylo's like, "I know what I need to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it." And the little kid next to me started whispering. He was like, "They're going to be a family again." And I was couldn't stop laughing. I was like, this kid is so wrong. Harrison Ford is fucking dead. And literally moments later, he fucking stabs him with the lightsaber. And the kid goes,
Did I just lose my connection?
No, you're still here.
Oh, God. You froze for a second right at the punchline there. Good God.
This kid lost his mind. He was sobbing to his dad.
That's incredible.
And I just couldn't stop laughing.
Amazing.
Well, you'd
Let's
probably
see,
appreciate an AP. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Andrew.
I was gonna say I went to see what was it? Not Endgame. Was it Infinity Wars? The
Yeah, the
first
one
one
before
with
it.
Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was on a business trip in Florida, and I went to go see the movie during like some downtime, and we get to the scene at the end where Thanos snaps, and they do that zoom in on Chadwick Boseman, and you see Black Panther disappear, and this lady in the back of the theater yells, "Fuck, we just got him!"
So you'd appreciate AP. Like I mentioned, the gold class ones they bring food here.
Mm-hmm.
They're limited to like 20 seats only in the cinema. And they're all
Spaced
pairs
out,
of seats that are
Extra
all
wide
spaced out. Yeah. So if you don't want to,
You're right. I
and
do
because of like
appreciate
$54 a ticket, kids don't go in there either. So
That's too much. That's too much for my blood. Yeah, $54 a ticket. I'm gonna set up a fucking cookout in my house.
Yeah.
Watching up my equipment.
I'm gonna rent a projector and a screen, and I'm just gonna pirate the
4K
movie. And I'm
monitor.
gonna watch it
I
at
don't
my
need
house.
any of that shit. I have a better fucking projection system than the movie theater. All right, friends. Well, we didn't get the duel. I couldn't bait Rad into
Sorry.
it. You don't,
Like I
you
said,
don't have to apologize to me. You have to apologize to the audience.
Well, I'll never do that. As a player, I'm full of regret, but as a character, I feel like I did what was the correct thing to do.
That's good because you conceivably could have died.
If you had said that he was lower social, if you said it was legal, I would have chopped his head off.
Just killed him right there.
100%. I would have killed him right there.
And
And
look,
with Kill Bill blood splatter, Oren Ishii style,
Oren
right there in the middle. Yeah.
oh my god, the timing on that fight is insane.
It is.
Wow. Well, audience at home, Patreon, thanks so much. You keep the show live. You keep Rad in the Patreon dollars for these overlays, these wonderful overlays that we finally got to reference in game now. And yeah, you're going to get this one a week early. And for the rest of the audience, hey, it's another episode.
and for the young audience, go check out Fruit Ninja.
That's right.
For the audience at 2 decades,
Yeah.
check out the Wikipedia entry on fruit.
Right.
It used to be one of the 5 basic fruit groups.
Just plug into your all 5 senses VR and see what a banana smelled like.
Yeah,
There
exactly.
used to be 5 basic food groups.
Funded by Neuralink. Yeah. Now there's only 2: soy and corn.
Yeah. Synthetic paste.
Soylent Green.
What's
And
the
water.
one from The Matrix where he's like, it's got everything you need?
Yeah, the nutrient paste.
They call it tasty wheat. But yeah.
Tasty wheat. Yeah.
All right. We're going to call it an end here. Are we good for next week?
Should be.
I'm going to say I might be out.
Okay.
They're rotating the carpooling shift, so I might be picking kids up on Thursday.
Okay.
If only we had a duel to do next week. We could have filled the gap. Oh, well.
I don't know what to say about that.
I'm going to be out. It's a little early to say, but October the 12th, probably.
The week after. So it's next 2, it sounds like then.
Is it? Yeah, 2 weeks from now.
Sorry, did you say you're out the week after that, the 19th, James?
No. He was
No.
saying that the 12th is the week after
yes.
Andrew's going to be out. Yeah.
Right.
So we'll be back in 3 weeks on the 19th?
Sounds right. Sounds right to me.
Or the 20th, if you mean.
I mean, the 19th and the 20th really exist in the same temporal slice, depending on how you look at it.
They do. I mean,
It's always
time
high
only-
noon somewhere in the world, James.
Time only exists as a creative concept.
Somewhere out there, Xeno is screaming into the abyss. All right, that's it. I'm finally hitting stop, audience.